Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Well, I thought I was done for calendar 2021, but I've been researching some companies over the weekend, and this one really hit a chord with me. It's been recommended by a couple of subscribers on the channel. I did some additional research and I wanted to get this video out. So the company name is Biotricity. It's in the telemed or medtech space, specifically in biometric monitoring. And this is what I'm super excited about moving into 2022. Now, I'm bullish on the sector. We've covered some of these type of companies on the channel previously. This one's got a couple of wild cards up their sleeve that we're going to go through in today's deep dive video. Now, with that being said, before we get into it, please take a second, hit the like button, you guys. It's a huge help to both myself and the channel. If you're not subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below what you think of Biotricity, if you're currently holding shares, and how you think they stack up to some of the other competitors in this space. Now, with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be talking about a company by the name of Biotricity Incorporated. Now this one's super exciting to me. We've talked about a couple of companies on the channel previously involved in the telehealth sector. I'm super bullish on this space overall. I think this is definitely the future of medicine. Our healthcare systems are so bogged down right now. People and patients want at-home solutions. And in addition to that, the pandemic situation we continue to find ourselves in has really propelled or sped up the process, in my opinion, of looking for alternate healthcare solutions and services. So with that being said, Biotricity, I think, is in the right place at the right time. They've got a number of different solutions or services that we're going to talk about in today's video. So we're going to do a deep dive analysis on the company. We're also going to talk about an article that lays out a very bullish sentiment or bullish forecast for the company moving into 2022. So super excited to talk about this one. Before we get into all that, I did want to take a look at the chart. So you can see here, they closed out the session on December 23rd, just north of $4 US. So they were up 13 cents on the day, which equates to about 3.33% to close out at $4.03. They trade under the ticker symbol BTCY on the NASDAQ exchange in the US, and they really have had quite an impressive year here. So we're going to talk about their share price return over the last 12 months. But if you look at the chart here, you can see Biotricity actually just about a year ago exactly, December 28th of 2020, was trading at 73 cents US. They're now north of $4 here. So for anyone who's been holding shares or invested in this company over the last 6-12 months, you should be very happy. And this is one that I think will continue to uptrend moving into 2022. Now, in terms of market cap here, you guys, you can see it's listed just under $200 million on Yahoo Finance. So it still is a penny stock, a small cap company in the telehealth or medtech space. And they've really focused on biometric data monitoring, specifically related to cardiac health or cardiac health monitoring. And you'll see later in the presentation, they really are expanding their host of services and products into other medical technologies and really now expanding into the telehealth sector as well. So a ton of things to be excited about here, guys. And even more exciting, this news just came out on December 27th. So this morning, Biotricity completes $12 million non-dilutive debt financing. So on top of all of the other exciting stuff we're going to cover in today's video, I did want to throw this in and quickly talk about the terms of the deal. So this is a major capital infusion into the finances or the financial inventory of this company. It's a 5-year term deal, and there's a couple of different elements I actually wanted to talk about. So number one, it's a $12 million injection, terms of which are actually being provided by a company by the name of SWK Funding Limited Liability Corporation. They also are a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol SWKH. And this company is actually an investor in the healthcare and life science company space. Now, the first 2 years of this agreement are interest-only payments, so this is going to give Biotricity additional flexibility in the early stages of this agreement. Now, in addition to the actual funds, Biotricity is also going to be giving or issuing around 57,000 warrants of their company, which are convertible at a price of $6.26, with a 7-year term. Now, the interest on this loan is going to be at a much more favorable rate than some of the outstanding debt Biotricity currently has, and they're actually going to use the majority of this money to actually replace existing debt. So this is great to see for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're strengthening their balance sheet, they're getting rid of existing higher interest debt, and they're doing this in a non-dilutive way to existing shareholders. Now, to kick things off, I did want to jump into a very interesting article I found in relation to Biotricity, and I've actually given a link to this article in the video description below. This is from Traders News today, and it talks about the bullish case for Biotricity. So there's a ton of information here. You can see the huge returns in the last 12, 13-month period, so up just about 1,100% in just over a year. And the article really talks about the role Biotricity is starting to play in the $188 billion connected health market that's starting to emerge in North America and really across the world. Now, they lay out a number of very interesting and bullish cases for this company, so I did want to spend a couple of seconds on the top 3 bullish points for Biotricity moving into 2022. So number one, they have game-changing technology. We're going to explore this in more detail as we move through today's presentation, but a host of new services or products that are really bringing or coming to market in the next couple of quarters here. Number two, Biotricity, the Bioflux product. So this is their bread and butter at this point in time. This is actually the cardiac health monitoring system. So this is going to be the one that's really driving the majority of the revenue for the company at this point in time. They're estimating to have a total addressable market of about $1 billion. And as you can see here, this currently represents about 100% of the company's revenue. So this really is their main focal point or product at this point in time. Now, the nice thing about Bioflux is there's a huge runway ahead of them. So currently, Bioflux is only being offered or used by physicians who serve about 5% of the total possible patient population. So about 2.2 million patients currently have access to this Bioflux solution. There's about 1,100 cardiologists who are currently offering this solution. So that works out to about 2,000 patients per doctor. So you can imagine as they continue to onboard more doctors and more people really see the potential with Bioflux, the numbers really are quite astonishing. Now, the third point called out in this article, you guys, the company just reported massive quarterly revenue here. They were up 290%, so triple-digit growth when compared to Q1 of this year. And they've seen that accelerated triple-digit growth for the last couple of quarters here. So 227% growth in Q4 of 2021, 162% growth in Q3 of 2021, and 115% growth in Q2 of 2021. So that's exactly why we've seen that share price really take off here, you guys. The numbers do speak for themselves, and the solutions that Biotricity is offering the market really seem to hit home or resonate with physicians and patients alike. And that's why we're seeing that exponentially strong growth in top-line revenue. Now, for those of you who've been watching this channel for some time, you know that I love companies that are really trying to address a problem. And we've talked about this problem actually on the channel previously. So the healthcare system right now is broken, you guys. It's fragmented, it's overwhelmed, people are overworked, and there's just not the capacity to take care of all the different patient requirements that are currently plaguing the system. So you can see here, it's fragmented, frustrating, poorly coordinated. Healthcare workers are understandably exhausted, not to mention all of the pandemic situation going on. And hospitals and clinics are really teetering on the edge of being overwhelmed. Now, the article goes on to really call out chronic illnesses, and that's really been a focal point for Biotricity as well. It's people that are suffering from chronic conditions that they're really trying to address or help with a lot of these products. And some of the stats in regards to that are really quite astonishing, you guys. So 52% of US adults suffer from some sort of chronic disease right now, and 7 out of the top 10 chronic diseases are within the top 10 causes of death in the US. Furthermore, 86% of healthcare dollars right now are spent addressing chronic ailments or chronic diseases. So there's a huge addressable market for this. There's a ton of funding being used to treat these conditions. And this is really what's created the perfect situation for a company like Biotricity that's got these unique remote monitoring or biometric data monitoring solutions. Now, the reason I like this article so much is because it really lays out a nice flow for the rest of the video here. So we're going to talk about a few of the highlights again in this article, and then we're going to jump over to the Biotricity website and really fill out some of these concepts in more detail. So they do talk extensively about the financial results of the company. You can see this is now their 9th consecutive quarter of triple-digit year-over-year growth, which we alluded to a little bit earlier in today's presentation. And as you continue to scroll down, you can start to see some of the products that are being offered and why there's so much excitement in the investment community about Biotricity. So Bioflux, again, is their first and foremost product here, you guys. This is real-time active monitoring 24/7 for cardiac-related issues. We're going to look at this product in more detail, but here's an example of what the unit actually looks like. Again, they've got an addressable market in excess of $1 billion, and they're really only scratching the surface with that 5% patient population penetration. Now you can kind of see the feedback cycle here. So the monitor would be hooked on a patient at home. It then transmits that information. It's analyzed within the cloud. A report is generated, sent over to the physician or the doctor, and they're then able to diagnose the patient in real time with this closed system feedback loop. Now you're going to see more examples of this again later in the presentation, but in general, high level, you guys, this is the essence of Bioflux and a lot of the other products that Biotricity is really bringing to market. Now I mentioned in the intro, they're also getting into the telemedicine space. This is super exciting for me. They've got a compound annual growth forecast of about 24% through till 2026. So very similar to some of the other companies we've discussed on the channel. I think this is a very attractive space to operate in. So we're going to look into Biotricity's product in a second that addresses this space. They've also got BioHeart, which just launched here, you guys. So very similar to the Bioflux product, but this is going to give you reliable, accurate 24/7 data monitoring to give insights into a patient's heart. And then finally, they've also got this BioCare pain management app, which actually allows patients to track, log, and monitor different levels of pain, various medications that they may be taking, and other pain management strategies. And underpinning this all is an extremely veteran and seasoned leadership team. So Dr. Waqas Al-Siddiq, he's the CEO and founder of this company. He's a serial entrepreneur here, you guys. He's been involved with multiple different Fortune 500 companies. So you can see he's held several high-level design positions at companies like IBM, AMD, and Intel. And he's now taken this experience and these achievements. He's found a niche or an area of the market that really is underserved and represents a huge growth opportunity. And he's now pushing full steam ahead to help patients solve a lot of these problems that they're currently struggling with. And Dr. Al-Siddiq has actually surrounded himself with an all-star cast in the senior leadership positions. And we're actually going to look at one of his interviews in a couple of slides here, you guys, and talk about the leadership team that he's really assembled here at Biotricity. So now that we've looked at the actual share price or stock chart on Biotricity, we've talked about that extremely strong article and the bullish case that's laid out for this company moving into 2022. I wanted to shift gears. We're going to jump over to the company website and take a deeper look into some of these products and really the underlying strategy that Biotricity has put in place to differentiate themselves from some of the other operators in the telemed or medtech space. So to kick things off, a company overview. Biotricity is a medical technology company committed to improving healthcare by developing solutions that aid in chronic disease prevention and management. So again, they're really focused on that chronic disease segment. It represents a huge portion of the market, and a ton of funding is really being put into this space. We specialize in remote monitoring solutions for chronic illnesses and adjacent connected healthcare applications in the diagnostic and post-diagnostic markets for both medical and consumer markets. Now they've got an extensive R&D focus. That's what the second paragraph really talks about here. Our proprietary remote patient monitoring platform can be leveraged for various different industries, and plans are currently underway or in the pipeline to come up with new solutions across a spectrum of different health applications. So outside of Bioflux and some of the other apps and products that we just talked about, they're looking to expand into the remote COPD monitoring space. And COPD, for those of you who are unaware, is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So again, a chronic disorder that plagues a ton of people across North America. fetal monitoring, sleep apnea monitoring, and other chronic conditions. So really going after some of the biggest opportunities in the medicine or healthcare space in terms of overall patient count. Now, the article we just saw briefly touched on this third paragraph. With soaring rates of chronic disease overwhelming the healthcare system, the opportunity is ripe for technology that enables physicians to diagnose and monitor patients with chronic conditions. With physicians' input and our deep knowledge of the industry, we set about creating solutions that bridge the gap in the marketplace between the healthcare system and the people it treats. So again, looking for creative, out-of-the-box ways to help patients manage these chronic diseases without having to go into brick-and-mortar hospitals, clinics, doctors' offices. Again, in light of the pandemic situation, you guys, the appetite for patients is really changing, and people don't want to expose themselves to, number one, the long wait times, but also some of the airborne pathogens or related risks by going into these traditional medical facilities. And again, a perfect example of that, or their premier product here, you guys, Bioflux, which is that single integrated mobile cardiac telemetry solution that consists of a proprietary mobile ECG or electrocardiogram monitoring device and an ECG viewer software package. So this is one example of how Biotricity has taken an opportunity. They've come up with a unique, innovative solution. They've deployed this, and now the demand is growing exponentially, as we saw with those financial results and their top line revenue expanding in the triple-digit category quarter after quarter. And there's actually a number of great interviews with Dr. Waqas Al-Sadiq available online or on YouTube. This is one example that's on the company website. I also watched a couple other ones on YouTube itself here, you guys, and I would definitely recommend you go take a look, take a listen if you're looking to invest in this company. It's a very cutting-edge industry with a lot of cutting-edge solutions, and who better to explain these products and company strategy than the chairman, CEO, and founder himself. So next up, I wanted to take a deeper dive into the actual products and solutions being offered by Biotricity, and there really is a common theme or thread between all of these various products. So if you take a look here, you can see the overarching commitment is to improve the quality of patient care and the lifestyle for these patients, and they're really doing that in three specific ways. So number one, they're leveraging digital technology, which is going to enhance physicians' ability to diagnose and manage their patients. They're then going to monitor and collect data from the patients that's going to be then delivered to the physicians to analyze, but also fed back to the patients so they can understand what's going on with their bodies and really track how the treatment or chronic management is going for them personally. And the third point here, which is really closely related, is to actually motivate the patients to better manage these conditions, and that's enabled through the two-way dialogue and the elevated level of interaction with these new two-way technological solutions. Now, as you scroll down here, you can see digital technology is the future of healthcare. This is something I wholeheartedly believe in here, you guys. So if you're investing in Biotricity or this space overall, I definitely think you need to share in that underlying thesis. We develop innovative devices that track, analyze, report, and provide a continuum of care for our patients. And then you can see the stats laid out in that article. 52% of US adults have at least one chronic disease. 7 out of 10 chronic diseases are within that top 10 causes of death, and 86% of healthcare dollars spent on chronic disease. So these three stats or data points really paint a very strong holistic picture of the opportunity here and some of the failures with the current system and solutions that are in place. And with that being said, we're now going to jump into the products themselves. So Biotricity is a modern medical technology company focused on delivering innovative remote biometric monitoring solutions to the medical and consumer markets. These include diagnostic and post-diagnostic solutions, again for chronic conditions, and now expanding into overall lifestyle improvement. So number one on the list here, you can see Bioflux, you guys. And if we jump over to the Bioflux page, again, you can see the unit itself here. This is a high precision, single unit, mobile cardiac telemetry device that provides real-time monitoring and transmission of patients' ECG information. Now, in terms of their deployed base, they currently track over 100 billion heartbeats a year, which is truly mind-blowing here, you guys. And this is monitored in real time by certified cardiac technicians with unmatched reporting capabilities. Now, some of the reasons this platform or product has really taken off so exponentially here, it's very user-friendly, so the device itself is very intuitive along with the online portal and the underlying design. It can be customized in terms of the reports and views that are outputted by the software. It's fast, one-click direct portal access, convenient, and they've also got an online support or online chat platform that's available for the patients. So you can imagine if you're someone who has an underlying cardiac issue, this is a much more convenient and streamlined process compared to traditional options or solutions. And you can see the product right here. So this is actually the mobile app. You've got the monitor and then those real-time reports and analytics, which are available at your fingertips from the comfort of your own home. Now the next one on the list here, you guys, is actually the BioCare pain management app. So this one is relatively newer to the company. Again, doesn't represent a large portion of revenue at this point in time. So this is an interactive app designed to provide patients and physicians a way to manage pain while they log and track a variety of different categories, which include the areas of pain within the body, the pain level, the different medications that the patient may or may not be using, pain management, their activity level, along with diet, sleep, and their actual feeling or mood. And as a result, this can give physicians and the patient themselves a more holistic view of the situation outside of maybe some of the specific chronic ailments that the patient is currently suffering from. So we've started to see a number of companies really launch products in this space that capture a segment of this list. So things like iPhones now track movement and sleep patterns. There's also wearables, iWatches, which track activity levels. So this app really looks to bring all of those things together. And in addition to diet, sleep, activity, mood, they're also tracking specific pain measurements and profiles for the client. So after Bioflux and BioCare, there's now BioHeart. So this is going to provide continuous heart monitoring that's again convenient, can be done from home, an everyday one-of-a-kind heart rhythm monitor for all types of lifestyles. So you can see here, this is actually the product itself. So a band, very similar to what you see in some workout studios. It's linked up to an app on your cell phone, and you can track things like activity minutes, heart rate, your resting heart rate, and a variety of other heart-related measurements. And the goal here, you guys, is the better equipped you are to manage and even potentially prevent some of these downstream cardiac ailments. So you can see the pricing here, $199. And again, the goal is to monitor, optimize, and get people using these products into an overall healthier state. And again, the reason for doing all this, you guys, is to prevent future chronic ailments like heart disease, which is currently the #1 killer. So you can see cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death globally. Only half of adults get the physical activity they need to help reduce. And again, the key here, you guys, is prevent chronic diseases. 90% of people with heart disease have at least one risk factor, but a lot of these are actually preventable, and that's what these solutions and monitoring systems can actually pick up on. And the fourth point here, again, is managing your lifestyle in advance or proactively to take the first step in controlling your health. And that's exactly, again, what BioHeart seeks out or sets to do here. BioHeart uses the most advanced heart technology combined with powerful analytics, continuous monitoring, and 3 different views of your heart to deliver the feedback people need to understand their current heart health. And the nice thing with this is you don't need a prescription, you don't need a doctor recommendation. You can get these personalized insights, again, available at your fingertips, you guys, from the comfort of your home and available on your cell phone. So whether we're talking Bioflux, BioCare, or BioHeart, the underlying theme is greater or increased access to health data that's convenient, it's available, and can help patients and people live better, healthier, and longer lives by better understanding and managing these conditions. And with that being said, you guys, and for the reasons laid out in this video, I truly do believe Biotricity is extremely well positioned for continued growth into 2022 and beyond. So for full disclosure, this is not a company that I'm currently holding shares of. However, after conducting this research, it's definitely going to be one I add to my watch list. I think it's a nice complement to some of the other telehealth or TeleMed stocks we've covered on the channel. And again, I see a huge runway in terms of future growth for this company. So Biotricity, again, it's a leader in this remote cardiac health monitoring space. They've seen tremendous growth in 2021. They've launched new products. They've got exponential top-line revenue coming into the business, and the total addressable market truly is uncapped here, you guys, as more and more people are continuing to struggle with these chronic ailments, and the current healthcare system is just not meeting the needs or set up properly to address the patient concerns or the overall population that's struggling with these chronic ailments. So with that being said, you guys, thanks so much for watching today. If you are looking for additional information or you want to watch some of those interviews, I'll leave a link to the company website in the video description below. If you're still watching at this point, hopefully you found some value in today's video, so make sure you hit the like button on your way out. If you're not currently subscribed to the channel, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. Thanks so much for watching today, you guys. Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you in 2022.